Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Rebecca Wilson, and I'm delighted to be here with you to talk about cognitive thinking. We're going to really concentrate on Piaget. Piaget was born in Switzerland. He's from Switzerland, and he was born in the late 1800s. And his theory is still with us today. It's amazing, I think. We built on it. We've changed some things with our understanding of cognitive development, but this was actually the first real theory on why do children learn differently than adults, and how do they how does their thinking process develop? Now, I will tell you, Piaget was a very studious person. He was very smart. At the age of 11, he published the first paper on scientific research in regards to cognitive or thinking processes. So he was really an amazing person, and it just goes to show you that his theory is still alive and well today, hundreds of years later. All right, I'm going to turn off my camera for now, but we're going to get into the good stuff. All right, cognitive thinking. And if you're a parent, kind of the physical parts of development are pretty visible. Are they walking? Are they talking? Are they crawling? Are they stage like? But cognitive, thinking is a little bit differently. And you're looking at cognitive develop thinking, and you're looking at your child's thinking process and their memory. And is this on point? Is this key? Um, of course, we want to know these things. Now, when when I speak of cognitive thinking, I'm really talking about the way a person perceives the world around them, how they perceive, the world around them, how they understand the world around them, and how they analyze the world around them. So it's a very interesting stage. And of course, this all comes with age and experience. When we're looking at cognitive thinking, we're really looking at the cerebrum. That's the part that controls thinking and critical thinking, not the cerebellum that controls motor functions. Because it's pretty easy for a parent or for a caregiver to look and see if their child is physically growing like they should. However, not so much for a child's cognitive ability, thinking, and development, because you're looking at perceptions, how they're perceiving the world around them. It's a mental process. How they understand, how they use logical reasoning, how they analyze information. So you're looking at all, by putting these in stages, we're kind of putting it out for you about what your child might be thinking up to when you're an adult. It's interesting because it's 4 stages and 4 stages only. You have the sensory motor stage, and that's birth to 2 years old. And the goal here is object permanence. Just because an object goes away doesn't mean it's gone forever. Now, you take a 0 to 2 year old and you hide their bottle, put a pillow or a blanket over the bottle, and they think it's gone forever. The bottle's gone, never coming back. All right, then you have your pre-operational stage, and that's age 2 to 7. And the goal here is symbolic thought. This is when your child begins to play imaginary, pretend play. Then you have a concrete operational stage, and that's age 7 to 11. And the goal here is operational thought. Then the final and the last, which some critics are like, it should go a little bit longer than to 12 years old, because I think differently now as an adult, as a 32-year-old, as a 52-year-old, different than I did as a child at age 12. But that's where he stopped. And he called it the formal operational stage. And the goal here is abstract concepts. All right. So looking at the sensorimotor stage, and again, that's ages 0 to 2, children take in the world around them by using their senses. Their 5 senses: taste, touch, smell, gustatory, all the 5 senses. And they learn about cause and effect in this stage. The main goal of the sensorimotor stage is understanding object permanences, like I just said. For example, with cause and effect, a child knows when they shake that box, it's going to make a sound. Or when they ring that bell, all they gotta do is pick it up and ring it. And what's going to happen? It's going to make a sound. Another thing they start to realize is, when they throw something off their high chair, you're going to pick it up. So sometimes it's a little game. They kind of like doing that. So if you have a child, 0 to 2, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, then looking at the pre-operational stage, and that's again age 2 to 7, and that is when a child develops memory and imagination. They have that imaginary friend. They have pretend play. They learn to imitate others, imitate adults. They also can engage in make believe or pretend play as well. They can have that imaginary friend, like I said. They can pretend like they're a surgeon. They can pretend like they are a teacher. They can pretend like they're teaching their dolls. So this is more of a pre-operational stage. And again, that's age 2 to 7. Then moving forward, you have your concrete operational stage. And at this stage, it ends the egocentrism, because in the other stage, the child could not see it. They thought that the world all revolved around them. They showed no empathy. They could not, if you showed them a picture, if you're looking at two different pictures and you're sitting across the table from the child and you're like, what is my picture? What are you looking at? And the child will tell you. And then you say, what am I looking at? And the child will tell you the same thing that they're looking at. And that's egocentrism. And this concrete operational stage ends that. And in this stage, a child begins to use logical operations and problem solvings. This includes inductive reasoning. It could include going from the specific to general and mastering conservation. So that is the concrete operational stage. Now moving forward to the formal operational stage, which hopefully all of us are in, that's 12 and up. With this stage, you are able to understand theories, use logic, right? You are able to make hypotheses. You are able to grasp abstract concepts like, situations that you can just hypothetically think about. And what would you do? So it's more abstract. So these are pretty much the 4 stages. And we had, I'm going to recap. We had the sensorimotor, we had the pre-operational, the concrete operational, and the formal operation. And the goals of each of these stages is object permanence, symbolic thought, operational thought, and grasping abstract concepts. And hopefully we are all in the same place to grasp abstract concepts. So again, Piaget, born in the late 1800s, was a genius of his time. He started the movement for us to start thinking about, why children think differently than adults. And he put it in 4 stages, which today, and critics would say, hey, it's more of an ongoing process. It might not be so stage-like, but it helps out people because, knowing what your child, if you're a parent, like I said earlier, the physical, stages, like, what they're supposed to be doing at certain ages physically, that's pretty easy to pick up on, right? However, when you're thinking about, when you're looking at a way a child thinks and memory and just cognitive thinking, it's hard to pick up on because we don't have a microscope that goes into the brain to look at it. So basically, we've covered cognitive thinking, what it is, what it does. It's the cerebrum, not the cerebellum. Cerebellum's easy to pick up on the stages. Understanding, analyzing and information, perceiving information, and critical thinking. And then we went over the stages: sensorimotor, birth to 2, pre-operational 2 to 7, concrete operational 7 to 11, formal operational 12 and up. And that is all I have to say this time. And of course, you know how to reach me. If you have any questions about anything this week, don't hesitate, reach out don't hesitate to reach out to me. All my contact information is in class, and I'm here to support you 100%. Don't forget that. Have a great day, guys.